When Erika and Kristen were younger, I used to read to them before they went to bed every night, and sometimes in the day as well. And I miss that. And I recently pulled out a book that their Granny Jean, my mother, their maternal grandmother, had given them when they were about 3. It's called A Christmas Treasury. And I was looking through some of the stories, and one I connected with, I thought I would like to share with them. So in so doing, if anyone else would like to listen to the story, it's a fabulous story, and I think many of us may have some way of relating to it in a personal level. So when I used to read to them, I would sometimes read in very dramatic voices and change my voice depending on the variety of characters. And then at other times I would read in a very monotone voice in hopes that they would fall asleep, as sometimes, usually by nighttime, that was what I was interested in having them do. So in this case, I hope you enjoy the story, and if you want to use it as a bedtime story, that's fine. And I will proceed. The Annual Crisis of Love by Loudon Wainwright. There comes a time for me on Christmas when the holiday changes suddenly, when the event, like a fall season, is past its peak of color and excitement, and the day begins to sink. The precise moment may vary, but it is most likely to arrive before the turkey is done, and when the litter of gift-giving remains. At our house, we burn this gaudy trash in the fireplace, and I always feel a certain reluctance at throwing the long strands of red ribbon and the crumpled pieces of shiny wrapping paper into the flames. Somehow the best, often the most personal part of giving curls to ash in the fire, and the gifts themselves, the gloves, games, toys, ties, the what is it from Aunt Betty, all placed in piles according to ownership, take on the anonymity of loot. At such moments, I am the victim of a curious mixture of disappointment. What made her think I would like that terrible color? And guilt. Just think all the people who really need these things. And I begin to look forward eagerly to the wine. I wish, in short, that Christmas had never come. But I have weathered too many Christmases to be surprised at the letdown, and I don't really think it can be attributed to the usual complaints about the season. Indeed, there is crass commercialization, the greeting cards are just awful, and the shabby Santa Clauses come out too soon. There is, too, the hysteria of shopping in time with the amplified tinkling of sleigh bells, and there is even a limit to the number of times one can tearfully respond to those crutch-propelled twins of Christmas, Tiny Tim and Amal. But these are all mere nitpicks, and I always hope that this year the magic will not pall. Still, it does, and I think the reason for it rests in the fact that Christmas is not so much a holiday as it is an annual crisis of love. We must somewhere suffer its effects. That it is just such a crisis seems obvious when one considers the sheer emotional baggage of the day. It is a frightfully heavy load, and it increases with the years. Among other things, our expectations for our own behavior seem extraordinarily high at this time. We expect ourselves to be cheerful and generous on Christmas, even though we may have been getting no practice in these areas for the rest of the year. Under such pressure, it is no surprise to me to hear that reformed drunks have celebrated Christmas by plunging off the wagon, and that Yuletide gaiety is sometimes marred by bitter, even violent family quarrels. With expectations so high, it is almost impossible not to fail at least a bit. The most successful Christmases are enjoyed by people 3 or 4 years old. They understand what's going on well enough to look forward to something big and juicy. Everyone they love is offering them lots of attention, and the presents are a grab bag of dazzling surprises. If little things go wrong around them, they don't notice. After those early years, it gets tougher. The disappointments of Christmas, disappointments of love, become tangible. I can remember, or think I can, the year Santa Claus was unfrocked. Out for a walk on a bitter cold December 24th afternoon, I saw him. The sled, the reindeer, the whole outfit in a bunch of clouds near the horizon where the sun was setting. Thrilled by this hallucination of hope, I must have slept badly, for I woke with the door to my bedroom being softly opened. This did not alarm me because at our place Santa Claus was expected to provide room service with the stockings while he stacked everything else under the tree downstairs. When my parents crept into the room with the stocking, I pretended to be asleep. My disappointment at the sudden understanding of the huge Christmas hoax was very sharp. My father and mother, not Santa Claus, were the frauds. On a much later occasion, I bought a bicycle for one of my sons, who had years earlier survived the Santa Claus crisis. I had found a very good second-hand one in a bike shop and, congratulating myself on a big saving, repainted it. Naturally, the boy was instantly aware that his present had a past, and though he thanked me gamely, it was clear he was astounded that I thought he would ever be interested in good, safe transportation. It's just what I wanted seems to me a hideously ambiguous expression of Christmas gratitude. It covers a multitude of meanings, and it is especially inadequate when it reflects the truth. As a matter of fact, one of the hardest things in the Christmas crisis of love can be giving or getting something that is really wanted. To see a member of my family actually moved by something I have given fills me with a feeling approaching alarm. I want to confess, oh, it's not so good. It's not nearly as nice as the thing I should have got you. It doesn't tell you at all how I feel. And my own gratefulness at finding exactly the right thing under the wrappings is laced sometimes with a kind of chagrin. On second thought, that feeling seems to say, why should I have what I want? I should not be loved that much. Still, I would not suggest changing any of it. Families need the annual Christmas crisis. More than any other time, it forces people to expose themselves and their feelings to those who are the very closest. If there is too much tension in it, too bad. At least we come to know each other better. More often than not, the tension is a healthy one. And at the day's end, stuffed, sated, perhaps a little disappointed, we have nonetheless connected. For the letdown period, some will find it easing to read the old story from Luke. Others might prefer to go outside and see if that toy airplane will really fly. Creature of the habits of a lifetime, I will do next week as I've always done and lurch through the festivities and duties leading up to the big day. My list of wants this year is small and can readily be tampered with. Some Mozart records, some books, and if Santa listens, some longish socks. I've already started shopping for my family, and I've discovered a splendid toy I cannot possibly buy. It is a stuffed baby elephant exactly the size of a real baby elephant, and it cost $475. I'm sure my daughter will survive not having it, and I hope that the child who does get it will understand that it is being given with love. So thus ends the story, the annual Christmas crisis from A Christmas Treasury by Loudon Wainwright, and I hope you enjoyed the Christmas story. And don't forget to watch the big old full moon. That will be here by Tuesday. And I hope you have a peaceful week as we move into this last week of Christmas.